Hi, my name is Carrie Bagnall. I'm the founder of Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary, and we get a lot of calls and emails from folks who have purchased a pet monkey. And they usually say something like, "Help, I need a home for my monkey," or, "I can't keep my monkey is chewing up my child," or, a myriad of reasons why people cannot keep a wild animal in their home, as you can imagine. And what we do first when we get the email from people or a phone call is we send them our intake form. And I won't go through the entire form, but if you want to see it, just go to the JungleFriends.org website, and if you click on About Us and go to Organization, then you'll see these form quick links, and our intake checklist is here, our placement contract, and our release form. So those are the three things that we go to. So the intake form I send to them and for people to fill out so we can get a little more information about their monkey and about them. So this was Dexter. Of course, they showed up at the gate with their monkey. So we sat them down to fill out the form. And the first question, first, where is the monkey located? He happened to have been right here at Jungle Friends at this point. But we ask, why are you relinquishing care of the primate? And are there any injuries to household or family members? Any injuries have been reported. Just different things. Are there any other pets in your home? Sex of the primary caregiver? Any aggression or preference toward males or females? So it's a lot of different things. Any abnormal behaviors, self-attacking, rocking, self-grasping. So we can find out what are their favorite foods. So we find out a lot about the monkey themselves and ask a little bit from the people. Are they going to be helping with lifetime care? Can they help build the habitat? What's the time frame for placement? And as you can see, this one immediately. So we get as much information as we can. Then we have them sign the placement contract. And the placement contract is a form which pretty much just says that Jungle Friends agrees to accept Dexter, in this case, and provide lifetime care in exchange for such value and services the donor agrees to, which is we, the donors in our immediate household, will not participate in the exotic pet trade, meaning that we will not buy, sell, trade, breed, harbor, nor participate in secondary causes of this abuse by paying to touch or have our photos made with non-human primates. So it goes on. It's a couple of pages, and we have them sign, and then we sign, and should the donors or their immediate household violate this contract, they hereby agree to pay Jungle Friends Primate Sanctuary the sum of $25,000. So we hope that will stop people from purchasing another monkey. Then we have our release form, and everyone has their own type of release form. We worked this out with our Fish and Wildlife folks. So we do a release form, and then our USDA form, which is we are USDA licensed, so we do a USDA form, and they did not have any kind of licensing at all for Dexter, so they did not have to turn in their forms. So that is the procedure when people call or email asking us to take their monkey. And you can find all of the information right on the website, or email me, Carrie Bagnall at junglefriends.org, and I can help you with the process.
Alright, so our protocol whenever we get a new monkey is to get them to the vet straight away. We like to give them a full physical checkup and blood work as well, so that we have a good baseline for what their health status is at the time we get them. We also vasectomize the males immediately upon arrival. That's our method of birth control. Dexter, when he arrived, He went to the vet and he was given a vasectomy immediately, and his blood work showed that his blood glucose level was 279. That's a big red flag for us. We've dealt with other diabetic monkeys in the past, and this can show that he is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. So the purpose of today is to do his diabetic screening and see what we're working with, see based on his blood glucose levels today, his A1C test and fructosamine, what our next step should be. Now, A1C test and fructosamine are both done on the blood. The A1C test shows us what his average blood glucose level over the last 3 months was, and then the fructosamine is a little shorter term. It shows us the last 3 weeks. So we know that he wasn't being fed a very appropriate diet before he got here. However, the fructosamine will show us whether the last 3 weeks with a good diabetic diet that we have spent time preparing and are very, very careful and specific about, whether that's helped bring his glucose levels down and whether that'll be enough for us to deal with whatever problems he may have in the future.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Carla Haddix. I'm a small animal veterinarian and a volunteer at JungleFriends Primate Sanctuary. Today we're going to work with Dexter, a capuchin, and we're just going to draw blood today. So with a wild monkey, we have to sedate him or anesthetize him first. Very common to use ketamine in small primates. It's very effective. So Dexter's over here in a squeeze cage.
Alright, so now that he is sleepy, we're going to do a monkey hold to get him out safely. So we basically hold the tops of the arms and kind of pull them back towards the shoulders. And this just makes it so if he does wake up for some mysterious reason, it makes it a lot more difficult for him to turn his head and make a bite. So this is the safe way. I'm actually going to put him on the scale right behind you.
Yeah, and the important thing about this hold is also, just here. Okay. The important thing about this hold is how far up on his arms, upper arms, she's holding him. You can even restrain a small primate awake with that hold if they're not too strong, but if you hold them too far down on the arms, they can skin the cat and spin around and bite you. So the high position is very important. Because we use ketamine anesthesia, sometimes their eyelids don't close when they're under sedation. So we're going to put a little bit of sterile eye lubricant in the eyes to keep the corneas moist and prevent them drying out while he's under anesthesia. You can see he still has a little bit of a eye blink reflex left with the ketamine.
Alright, so it's important for us to document each step of the process. Every 5 minutes we're going to be documenting his vitals. We'd also like to record the sedation method, how much ketamine we use, so that next time we can take a look back and see if we need to change it, if he reacted well to it. So we did 40 milligrams of ketamine today at about 8 a.m. And then we're going to be recording his vitals, his A1C test and blood glucose, and then we're also going to be implanting a microchip.
We almost never get a chance to look very well into a monkey's mouth, so this is a good opportunity to do that.
Color is beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice and pink. This is a young monkey, he's only about 2, so his dentition is beautiful, looks very nice. You can see quite a bit of salivation there. That's a common thing under ketamine anesthesia. Sometimes the drooling or salivation is severe, in which case they can benefit from some atropine to dry that up. But you just want to monitor that and keep their head down during anesthesia. Brittany's just counting his respiratory rate right now. Yeah, a little high. That's actually one of the beauties of ketamine anesthesia is that it does not depress the respiratory or the cardiac rates. So it's pretty good and safe even for pediatric use, geriatric use, and so forth. It is not a highly depressant drug. So before he wakes up, we want to do what we've come here to do, which is a blood draw. The classic location where small primates get their blood drawn from is their femoral vein in the groin.
That's right, there it is.
There it is. So once she has hit the vein, then she holds her hand nice and steady. And go ahead and fill it pretty well up because we want to put quite a bit in the purple top today.
Okay.
And I'll hold that for you.
Time to pick their nose.
The fluids do not flow as quick either.
They do not. It takes a little while to do.
Good boy.
Okay, little man.
One of my favorite things about ketamine is that their biting reflex leaves first and comes back last. Hold on, sweetheart.
Let me squeeze a bit.
I know, sweetie, I know.
Just let it
Did you
do
get
what
the
it's doing, I think.
microchip
Yeah.
in?
I'd say go ahead and do
Go
it.
ahead and
you
do
know.
that,
It's
yeah.
not wiggling too much on you. You better get it done.
Okay, sweetie, so we sedated him pretty light because we were just doing a blood draw and a few basic things, but with all of our chatting, he's waking up a little quicker. Okay, we'll see what his glucose is real quick. 99.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
99. So I have a feeling he's
Yeah.
probably not diabetic. I think he was very stressed.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and do the ketone, and he's been on a really good diet for 2 weeks. Since we've got the ketone test right here, we're going to go ahead and do that too.
Yeah, this is a meter that tests both glucose and ketones in the same meter. They have two different strips, but when you plug in the strip, the meter knows which strip it is.
And it doesn't need coding. It's a great meter.
Yeah.
And do you want a drop of blood for your A1C?
I can probably do it right from here.
Okay. And 0.3. So
Okay, now we're going to run the A1C diabetes test with this kit. It's a kit made by Bayer. You can get this over the counter at pharmacies. All right, so capillary action should draw it right up in there. You can see it fills this whole little capillary tube part of that. And then I'm going to do this according to instructions. It says insert it in there, put it firmly all the way in, shake it, and then just set it down on the tabletop. Okay. Put it in like this, press it in, and it says run, and you remove it. Now you leave it there. You get a 5-minute countdown. It's happening now, and you can see the little timer clicking down right now. And at the end, you'll get your results.
okay, and his A1C says 12.1, which is high.
So I'm looking at Dexter's previous blood test that was done, a more complete profile that has some serum chemistries as well as a CBC. And the findings on here, slightly low white cell count. I don't think it's terribly significant. If you see things that are just a little bit out of range, we just sort of take it with a grain of salt. But that's part of his immune system, which helps him fight disease. It is possible that, you know, it's a little compromised. Low hemoglobin is a measure of anemia, but again, you can see it's just barely below the normal range. And the red cell count is within the normal range. That's another way to measure anemia. And the hematocrit is another way to measure anemia, and it's normal too. So you can interpret test results in the light of other tests that relate to the same organ system. Nothing else here too significant. We had low eosinophils, does not raise any alarms. If eosinophils were extremely high, that would point to allergies or perhaps parasitism. But when they're low, I don't make anything of that. This is the test I was referring to earlier where his total protein was a little high. That is often just a sign that they're a bit dehydrated at the time of the blood draw, which concentrates some of the elements in the blood. So I'm not thinking too much of that either. Albumin and globulin are the two fractions of the total protein. So if you add these together, that's how you get that total. Albumin slightly high and globulin is normal. These two tests here, ALT and alkaline phosphatase, those are related to the liver. So he does seem to have elevated liver enzymes. It's not certain why. In response to this, we are going to put him on an herbal treatment called milk thistle, which is very good at protecting liver cells from toxic damage of any kind and helping liver cells heal and recover from any insult or injury. The urea nitrogen is a kidney test. We worry about that when that's high. Again, when it's low, I don't believe it has any real significance. The second kidney test is creatinine, and that's normal too. So his kidneys look in good shape, which does not explain why he has a high phosphorus. Sometimes phosphorus is high in kidney failure, but his kidneys, I believe, are fine. Don't know why he's got high phosphorus, but for this reason, we are also going to put him on a natural kind of a remedy called epikeitin. It is a phosphorus binder that's also not a drug. It won't have any side effects. So we'll have him on both the milk thistle and the epikeitin orally. This was his prior blood glucose. You can see how high it is, and yet today it was 99. Here's the normal range. So this is known to happen during stress, and you can see how high it really can go just because an animal is stressed out. So that was why we were remeasuring. We weren't sure if that was a stress hyperglycemia or the real thing. And chloride being low, one of his serum electrolytes. Again, no big deal because it's just so close to normal, so we won't make any issue out of that.
All right, so Dexter's recovering very nicely. He is active and waking up enough so that we've given him his diet for the day and some water. He has been on our diabetic diet for the last couple weeks. We are very particular about what we give to diabetics. We like to give them foods with good protein. In the afternoon, we give them complex carbohydrates, corn. They love beans. I like to give them scrambled eggs too. That's some of their favorites. So we want to give them good, full food with lots of nutrients.
Speaking of scrambled eggs.
Giant thing. Now, in the couple weeks that Dexter has been with us, he has actually lost some weight. So we're hopeful that we can get him into good shape, especially once he gets outside and he's jumping around and starting to forage and really being a monkey, not being stuck in a house. So we're going to keep him in here for a little bit, just under observation. Our new medical clinic, the Bob Barker Clinic, is really state-of-the-art and allows us a lot of freedom to do procedures like this with our own staff, with our own facilities. Saves us a trip to the vet's office, and that way we can take care of all this ourselves. All right, now we are getting ready to release Dexter into his new habitat. We have set up an indoor for him as well, so he will be right next to April on the inside. And then he also has this big, beautiful habitat out here, which he can go in. It was made specially for him, so we've got lots of toys, lots of props in there. And we're just going to monitor him closely for the first couple of days, make sure that he's able to find his water, make sure that he's able to find his food, navigate through the runways, and use the props correctly, and of course, so that he can explore all of his new toys.
buddy? What do you think, April? Gonna get a roommate. What do you think about that? He's very handsome.
Bit of a tight squeeze, but we're getting there.
Sorry. Anything else in the rules there?
It's pretty well. I know, Dexter, you're okay. Alright, you're going outside and...
Here, I'll go ahead and take this right here. Easy enough.
I've got to hold the door down anyway.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Mary Jo.
No.
Okay, Dexter.
Do you want to pull it?
Not yet.
Well, yeah.
I think less people in here, the better, easier he'll come out. Ready to get out of there, Dexter?
Let me double check your locking.
Open this up, open this up. Okay, let's go. Here we go. There we go. There you go, buddy. There you go. What do you think about that idea? What do you think about that idea? So there's your water, is over there. Come on,
Dexter.
Dexter arrived on July 4th, and when we did his initial tests on the 8th, a few days later, we got him in to get his vasectomy and do a blood draw. We found that his glucose was 279. That is too high. So what we did then was on the 11th, we went ahead and pulled some more blood so that we could see exactly where he was. We did go ahead and put him on a diabetic diet as soon as we saw this glucose reading. So he was switched to a diabetic diet just a few days after he arrived. Then when we did his other checks, we did an A1C test, which tells you what his average glucose is over like the last 3 months. And it was 12, which is really high, uncontrolled, not good at all. So we knew then that he was probably diabetic. We did his glucose at that time, and his blood glucose, when we drew the blood for the A1C test, was only 99. So giving him the good diet had already started to help out, and less stress, some more exercise, all of that helps with diabetes. So we pulled blood and sent it off to NTAC for the fructosamine test. And I am happy to report, ta-da, that his fructosamine test came back at 260. That is excellent. A good regulation is anything under 500. So what the fructosamine test shows you is what has been going on for the last like 2-3 weeks. So this was when he was switched to a diabetic diet, and now he's got really good regulation. His the glucose and the glucometer came back at 99. So you can cure type 2 diabetes pretty easily, which we feel that we've done. He's going to stay on a good diabetic diet. He is going to be meeting a new monkey soon and get a lot more exercise. And we're really happy with this report.